In this video, I'm going to take one of my students' amateur sounding songs and make simple edits to it to make it sound professional. Typically, what I do with student work is I go directly into the project, shoot a video of myself fixing certain things in that project, and then send that video back to my student. However, I thought it would be cool to share this video with you guys so you can apply these techniques to your own music and make some professional sounding music yourself. So, the way this video will go is I will transform a song from amateur to professional in 5 simple steps. I'm going to start by playing a snippet of the song we will be improving, and then we'll get into step 1. So it's a pretty typical sounding song from a less experienced producer. A lot of sounds that lack direction, but also a lot of sounds that we could do some really cool things with. Step 1 to making a professional song is make sure your main idea or your main melody is strong enough to even make a song with. Deadmau5 has one of the greatest quotes from his masterclass course. You don't have a good melody or chord structure, no amount of production magic is going to save your track. The question is, do we have an idea here that we can build a song with? The best idea in this song, or the main idea, is this main melody here. This melody sounds really cool, but the problem with it is it doesn't have a fluid, forward-moving rhythm. And it's also kind of random, which makes it really hard to build with. Now, I don't have the Midi to rewrite this melody, but I could take little pieces of it and restructure it and make it sound really cool. Check this out. I'm going to take this part. I'm just going to repeat it. We can probably take this part. I'm going to put it here. I'm going to duplicate that. I'll take this note and back there. Now if we play this melody back with the kick, it has that nice, fluid, forward-moving energy. It's very dancey. I'm able to shake my head to it. And overall, I think it's something that we could build with. So let's keep building. Step 2, after you have your foundational element established, is make sure the kick is good. Here's our kick. When I listen to this kick, it has a good, strong, low frequency presence, and that's what we're looking for. However, it's kind of loud and aggressive for as deep and chill that our melody is. In other words, although this is a good kick, I think it's too dirty and doesn't quite match the energy of our foundational melody. I'm going to swap this kick out for something a little cleaner. So if we compare these two kicks now, our new kick sounds like this. Very clean progressive house kick versus the old one, which sounds a little bit more trancey and aggressive. Now I can hear slightly better congruency between the kick and the melody. Something I see with less experienced producers is that they think only the melodic instruments have to align with the melody in terms of sound selection. But this is not true. The sound type or sound selection of your main idea, which is this melody, should be congruent with every sound in your song. Look at it like it is a theme. Whatever the theme is in your main idea should translate to the rest of your song. Step 3 is to pick the right bass. The bass is one of the most important elements in a song. If your bass is weak, your song's going to sound weak. If your bass is muddy, your song's going to sound muddy. The bass he has sounds like this. Now if we play it with the melody, this type of bass, which is that thick reese bass, should harmonize really well with the melody and allow that melody to come to life and generate really cool emotions. When making a melodic bass line, you want to play around until you find notes that harmonize with your melody in the best way. Let's come up with something. So once we have our kick, bass, and melody, we have to get our chords right. This brings me to step 4, which is get the chords right. His original song had these really cool shimmering chords. Aren't they pretty? They're very cinematic. They could totally work in this song. Now these sound good, but the only issue is they're more of a background atmospheric type of sound. We still need that set of chords that fills in between the bass and the melody and kind of holds them together. Let's make a set of chords. When I make chords, I always base them off the bass notes, because since we know these bass notes already work, they can be the bottom notes of the chords. I'm going to duplicate these bass notes. These will be our chords that I'm going to layer on top of the bass. And to turn these into chords, all we have to do is take these notes, add a fifth, and then add your third. If you don't know how to make chords, watch my music theory video, which I uploaded right before this one. Lately, though, I haven't been using full chords. I've actually only been using the root note and the third, while the third's up an octave. Then we could also put passing note there. It sounds really cool. If we bring these together with the melody and the bass, here's my chords, and if we play them back with the original chords, get a pretty crazy sound. Isn't that nuts? I want to change the sound of these chords though, just so they're not exactly the same as the bass. I'm going to simplify them with less unison. And then we can add some movement to them by taking envelope 2. Isn't that kind of pretty? Look, sometimes I get carried away and end up rewriting my students' songs. But disclaimer, this was just a practice throwaway project for him. So I have free reign. So here we are at step 5, which is get the drums right. Among every element of music production, less experienced producers have the hardest time getting drums right. With drums, it is critical to pick the right sounds that match the style of your song and also pick the right rhythm. Check this out. First drum layer he had sounded like this. I think it actually sounds pretty good. The rhythm's right and the samples are okay. He also had a shaker layer. Sounds like this. Then he had this guy. Now, I thought he did his drums pretty well. However, I think we could tighten him up a little bit. I'm going to turn his main loop off, and then we'll bring it back in. Let's build off of the main hi-hat. Next drum I try to get right after the main hi-hat is the 16th note hi-hat. Now, he already has these shakers. And they sound pretty good, but when I play them back with the rest of the song, they don't really have a lot of strength on their own. So what I like to do is take the main hi-hat, copy it, put it on a new layer, and then kind of soften up the attack of it. And then just duplicate it 4 times and lay it out for the rest of the loop. And then I took one out that was layering the main hi-hat. So without this new layer, the shaker and main hi-hat sound like this. But when you bring these in, we get a little bit more strength. His clap is a little aggressive. It's very loud. I took this clap. And so now that we have our foundational layers, what I thought was really cool was bringing back his main loop as kind of a supportive layer. that cool how it kind of helps everything out? And then he had another gem of a layer. It sounds like this. I thought that was the best sound in the entire project next to the melody. Get these Atmo pads back in and play everything together. Isn't that awesome? But anyway, those are the 5 steps I would use to take any amateur sounding song to more of a professional sound. If you would like me to tell you or show you how you can improve your own music, check out my courses and coaching programs below. And as always, stay tuned for the next video lesson.